Oh, hey, what's going on? It's your friend over here, Blissful 800, otherwise known as Bliss. And if you watched the previous video, we taught you guys how to get moving, how to get the bike to roll, how to get the bike to stop, how to shift gears, all that basic stuff. Well, today we're gonna go a little bit more in depth and teach you guys some basic maneuvers. We got someone running over here. Look at it, just so going around. It's so cool. So for those of you guys that don't know, I am a content creator for TikTok and Instagram. Now, without further ado, let's jump on the bike here and let's jump into some more advanced maneuvers. So when we left off in the last video, we learned how to get the clutch in, find that clutch release point, find out the braking point, find out all of these different things, how to shift up, which way the gears go, all of that sort of stuff. Well, today, we're gonna teach you guys some basic maneuvers that you're gonna wanna learn before you start riding on a regular basis, things that you can practice in small parking lot, and different things that you can do to improve your riding capability. So first things first, one thing that is the very most important thing for everybody to remember when they come to riding motorcycles is your bike, okay? It has one eye right here in the middle. That eye is gonna go wherever your eyes go. So your eyes, whichever way you're looking, the bike is gonna follow. So if you're going around a corner and you notice that there's a huge ditch on the side of the road and you look towards that ditch, your body is instinctively gonna pull the motorcycle to that direction because that's where your focus is. So when you're going around turns and everything in between, you need to be looking ahead of that turn, looking for the line that you're gonna take, and the bike will immediately follow. Now I know that's easier said than done, and I don't really have a good way to show you guys this other than to like kind of just get you guys to see from my point of view. So we're gonna turn on the bike. Remember, we have to have the clutch in. We want it to be in neutral. Your bike should have a neutral indicator on the cluster gauge. Pull it up, put it in neutral, flip on the switch, give it a second to let the fuel pump prime, and then if you're fuel ejected, that is. If not, then go for it and you can hit the starter and the bike will start. Now, what I mean when I say that you're gonna watch where you're going, we're gonna get moving here. Remember, clutch out slowly, give it a little bit of gas to match. Now, when you're going around the corner, what you're gonna wanna do, so if we're gonna come to a figure 8 through here, we're gonna come through here, and then as we start to turn this way, my focus is gonna shift this way to follow through the turn. And as I'm shifting, the bike is immediately gonna pull that direction to lead me out of the turn. So we're gonna do it again. We're gonna come over here, okay? We're gonna look and lean, little bit of gas, and as we're looking into the turn, we're following the line that we're looking for. You're following, your bike is following your eyes and finding out which direction you want to be going, right? So same thing, we're gonna come over here, we're gonna look to our right, we're gonna see that we want to head back in towards the center, so we're gonna look towards the center, and the bike will immediately go towards this spot. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to turn the bike at all, but as you are going, and as you are turning even just a little bit, you want to be looking in that direction, and that will keep you on track. The number one reason that new riders crash all over the world is what's called hyperfixation. And what that means is as they're turning or as they're driving, they're going to see an obstacle in the road in front of them, and their vision is going to hyperfixate on that object, and it's going to gravitate them towards that object, and they're going to crash. So if you're going around an embankment and you see loose gravel and you focus your attention on that loose gravel, you're going to want to, your bike is instinctively going to want to head towards there, and you're going to hit that gravel and you're going to slide out. So the best way that you can get around this is going out into an empty parking lot, kind of like we are now, and you're going to just do figure 8s. Just bring some cones if you want, or have somebody follow you out and bring you some cones. You're gonna set them up and you're gonna do figure 8s all the way around the cones. And all that's gonna do is teach you how to control the bike. The bike is much easier to maneuver at higher speeds. One of the hardest things to do for a motorcycle, because they are so heavy, is low speed maneuvers. So as you're practicing in a parking lot, you're learning how to handle that super heavy motorcycle on a short notice at a slow speed, and that will prevent 90% of the problems that you're going to have when you first start learning how to ride a motorcycle. The second thing that I'm going to teach you guys how to do, and it's something that we kind of touched about on the last episode, but that's going to be your braking situation. Now, if you listen very closely, I want you to pause the video, I want you to run out to your motorcycle, and I want you to listen very closely. If you grab onto your front brake with 2 fingers or 3 fingers, 2 fingers is the best option because it allows you to still have control over your throttle, and you pull it in just a little bit. I don't know if you guys can hear that on the GoPro camera, but there is a little bit of a clicking noise. It's just like click, 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 even when you pull it in. So I want you to go out to your own bike. I want you to grab onto that front brake handle. The bike doesn't have to be on. And I want you to pull that in very slowly until you hear that click. And that will tell you right when your front brake engages. Now, a lot of people, what they do when they first start riding is they're coming up to a stop sign. They realize that the back brake that they're using down by their right foot is not providing enough braking or enough stopping power to get them to stop completely. So they grab the front brake out of panic and they squeeze it. And now when you squeeze it, what's gonna happen? Remember what I said in the previous video, you have 75% stopping power up in the front and 25 with the rear. So if you grab onto this as you're screaming down the road, you're gonna wanna do an endo. Now, if you have a bike that has ABS, it's gonna be a little more, or it's gonna be much safer for you, but it's still gonna, you need to get used to not being able to do that. So I want you to practice where that is. And we're gonna just drive in a straight line. We're gonna be going in first gear. We're gonna pull in the clutch to stall the bike out so that there's no RPMs, there's nothing, so that there's no movement in the bike, so that the bike just kind of rolls along by itself. And you're gonna pull in the front brake very slowly and you'll gradually feel the stopping power get more and more aggressive as you start to pull it in further. So we're gonna practice it for a little bit so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So we're gonna start the bike up, okay? We're gonna let out the clutch a little bit. We're gonna make sure we're in first gear, and we're gonna just give it a little bit of gas to get the bike going, okay? Now, as the bike is going, all you're gonna do, get going, pull in the clutch, so you're rolling along, and then grab the front brake, and slowly pull it in so that you can feel how much pressure is needed for you to stop the bike. So let's do it one more time. Let the clutch out a little bit of gas to reciprocate. We're gonna get going. Pull in the clutch, 2 fingers on the brake, slowly pull it in to find out where that stopping power is. Now, I want you to do the same thing with the rear brake, except it's not gonna be as aggressive. So we'll give you, I don't have a way to show you guys my feet right now, but we'll get around the corner here. We'll get going. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna pull in the clutch and we're gonna use the back brake. Get a stopping power. Now, at low speeds, the rear brake is gonna have plenty of power to get the bike to stop. But if you're traveling at, highway speeds, or if you're on a road that's, maybe 45, 50 miles an hour, your rear brake is gonna be enough to stop you when you're coming out to a stoplight, as long as you're paying attention to the vehicles in front of you. But if you need a little more stopping power, your front brake is gonna be the one that's gonna be most important to remember. Now that's gonna be part 2. These are a little bit more advanced maneuvers, not advanced in the way of being a pro motorcycle rider, but these are gonna be the second step of things that you're gonna wanna learn when it comes to learning how to ride a motorcycle. Once you get these steps down, you can practice integrating everything all together. Practice getting on not main roads necessarily, but maybe some of the back roads around your neighborhood. Practice getting up to speed, coming up to stop signs, stop and go as much as possible to get used to the clutch. And you guys are going to be riding like pros in absolutely no time. If you haven't watched video 1 yet, you should probably go back and watch video 1, because it talks all about the basics of how to get the bike moving with using the clutch and throttle for those that may not have grown up on motorcycles like others have. Go watch that one and then come back to this one, and you will have everything that you need to know to get started riding a motorcycle. The rest of it is going to come a lot from experience, learning how to handle the bike in different speeds, learning how to handle the bike in different scenarios, and lots of practice. And remember, always wear your gear, especially when you're starting out. Not that you shouldn't when you get more experience, but you should always be wearing gear. Now, with all of that being said, guys, I really appreciate you jumping in and watching this video. I hope it helped you out as much as it did for me when I was younger, when I was learning how to ride motorcycles, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. If this did help you, be sure to leave a like and comment down below and let me know that it did help you. Tag me on Instagram. I want to see everybody learning how to ride and practicing on their bikes, doing their figure eights. That would literally make my entire day. Once again, this is Blissful 800, otherwise known as Bliss. Be sure to drop a subscribe if it did help you out. And guys, remember, life is bliss. Thanks so much.